We have James Webster on with us, and he's the CEO and partner at National Business Capital. He studied business management in school and has managed various sales floors since the age of 18. In 2009, James co-founded National Business Capital, one of the nation's leading sources for business financing. National Business Capital provides working capital businesses nationwide, regardless of credit background. James was born and raised on Long Island, where he currently lives with his wife, Melissa, and daughter, Liliana. He is an active member of the Long Island community and feels a special commitment to local businesses. James personally donates time and money to various charities, as well as facilitates charitable endeavors by National Business Capital. Along with his passion for business, James has an intense passion for his family. He enjoys the outdoors, skiing, boating, traveling, and sports events. But most especially, he loves spending time with his wonderful daughter. Welcome to the show, James. Nice to have you here today, man.
Hey, Jason. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. And, the first question I have is, going back to when you were growing up, did you grow up in a family of entrepreneurs, or was it more traditional nature? I always like to find out where people get that bug.
Yeah, funny. No, I did not. My father was still contractor, 30-something years, and my mother's a registered nurse. But one thing I did get from them was work ethics. They've always showed me, and not told me, they just showed me day after day when they would get up and not complain and go to work. And that was just normal to me, and work as hard as you can and do it the best way possible.
Hey, James, I love the name of your company, National Business Capital. That it kind of says it all. You lend money to small businesses, medium-sized businesses, maybe even big ones. But tell me your niche and how did all this come about? As you've been doing this now over 6 years, and I want to just get a little better overview of what's your sweet spot and how'd you develop the company?
Yeah, that's a few great questions there, Kevin. So we actually started back in 2007. We're in our 9th year, and we started National Business Capital back in the end of 2009. But I founded this back in 2007 when I was in the mortgage banking industry, and before what's called the crisis happened. We started to notice the market was changing and decided that it was time for us my wife was working at the bank as well, and it was time for us to move on and to go into something for ourselves. And I was looking around at some different opportunities, and alternative business financing fell on my lap. And as I sat and thought about what I was planning on doing next, I thought if these banks really tighten up on the mortgage and I'm doing a lot of stated self-employed borrowers, they're certainly going to be the first ones to. I was already starting to see the trends in the market change with the stated self-employed borrowers. So they were the first ones to get kind of affected by that. While I was still in the industry, I happened to get out prior to that meltdown or crisis. And saw the opportunity and saw the need. There was a void that small business across the country is going to need capital, and there's really nobody out there that wants to supply that capital for small business, small to medium-sized businesses. So we saw seeing the opportunity, so I'd jump right in.
It's amazing, as an entrepreneur myself now, 40 years, when I think way back when I first started, trying to get money from banks, if you had a big account there, or you had a bunch of real estate, or you had assets, they would lend against it. You not only don't require assets, but you actually don't even require that they have amazing credit, right? So tell me how you can lend money to an entrepreneur that is maybe even a little credit challenged, is what I understand.
Very correct, Kevin. So we're really looking at the business and understanding that people, especially business owners, are going to have a hiccup in their past. Starting a business, as we all know, I think everybody on this show at this time is self-employed or has been an entrepreneur for a number of years, and it's a hard challenge. It's something that you you go to work every single day, and there's no guaranteed paycheck, so you really have to make sure you're putting everything into it. And there's times that people have to take personal sacrifice, and that credit is one of them. And so we don't judge on the credit. We do look at it, and if somebody had an issue, say 3 years ago, their FICO score is lower or low, we might look at that and see since they've started after the issue, how long have they been getting some bad news. After they have issues.
I hear a little bit echo, guys. So real quickly, James, one of the things I wanted to do is we'll get that technical thing figured out there. But one of the things I wanted to do is really understand, because we're going to go to break here in a minute anyway, is you mentioned about people that it's not so much about credit, because people have, like you mentioned, and I talked to you before, you mentioned a lot of people have a good backstory. It's really about the individual that they may have fallen in hard times, but they got a great business. They need a little bit of a pick me up, and this is where you start to kind of really look at the story. And I think when we talked before, James, one of the things that was really interesting to me was that there's a lot of people in your space. A lot of companies that are trying to do what you guys are doing, not nearly as effectively. And they're almost like production mills. They'll grab an application, throw it, run it through the process, and go after it and just see what happens to kind of see if it sticks it to the wall. Where when I dealt with what when I talk with you about these different things, it was like, when we really take each application and we look at it and we thoroughly go over it, we want to understand everything. So when we come back, I want to talk to you about that and understand a little bit more about what really makes you guys different, and also try to understand, kind of what trends you're seeing out there in the business funding area. And, a lot of times you can look at business funding and you can say, hey, there's a lot of things coming through our pipeline, which is an indication as to what's going on with the economy. And so I want to see if you could tie those two things together. So we'll be right back. You're listening to Big Pitch Radio Show at bigpitchradio.com. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You are listening to Big Pitch Radio Show, bigpitchradio.com. Go to Facebook and like us, Twitter, and follow us both at Big Pitch Radio. Very excited to have James Webster on with us, National Business Capital. I know these guys are great. We're getting ready to form a pretty big partnership with these guys, and we don't take that lightly. And we've vetted the out of these guys, and they really do deliver on what they say. Been around for 9 years. They got a really nice sized company. Treat their employees fantastic. James, one of the things I wanted to understand from you is, again, going in the break, I was really setting this up. Talk about when you see business loans coming through. One of the things that I wonder is how much is that tied to the economy? Are you encouraged? Are you guys are doing really well? Is there some sort of a indication that the economy is doing well if you guys are getting a lot of applications and loan opportunities?
Yeah, great question, Jason. So there is, and really what we notice is the trends of what the uses of capital are for. So back in 2009, 10, 11 or so, people were really looking for, whether they were admitting it or not, but you can always get the truth out of the borrower. They were really looking for that money to stay afloat, just keep going, paying payroll, taxes, rent, etc. And we don't love those opportunities. We're more of an opportunity-based lender. So we look for the client that has an opportunity. Maybe the space next door to them closed down, or they moved on. Now there's an opportunity for them to expand their store, or we deal a lot with the medical space, so they can take on more space, make their practice bigger, bring in another physician. So those are the types of deals that we love to look at.
James, on that note, do you have any other examples? I love hearing about success stories, and maybe an entrepreneur that needed some cash. It was, in midstream of not being able to survive or take it to the next level, and you guys came in, helped them out, and now they're thriving, and et cetera, et cetera. You got any a magical transformation kind of a story for us?
I have so many. I think you guys would kick me off the radio if we talked about all of them, but let me see if I can think of one that stands out. Without disclosing names, of course, we had a franchisor had contacted us and mentioned that they had a franchisee that was looking for financing. And we spoke to the franchisee, and quickly after having the initial conversation, we identified this client has a great opportunity to expand their business, and it was in the logistics space. And we were able to, when nobody else was, and really they were getting a few declines from other lenders in our space, in our industry. But we really took the time and got on the phone with the CEO to understand what exactly is going on. What is the opportunity here? On paper, it seems great. It seems good. It seems like there's an opportunity. Some of the questions we were asking your controller didn't seem to really match up. But really, what's going on, and what's the story here? And after about a half an hour conversation, we pretty much had that deal put together. It was about $500,000, which is a little higher for a lender like us. We're more about the average deal size is about $55,000. We'll go up to about $1 million, but really the sweet spot is about that $55,000 to $85,000. And
what I love about these franchise kind of stories is once you get into a franchise company, you help one, you might be able to there might be a client to give you access to dozens or even hundreds of opportunities to help many of their people, correct?
Well, that's just it. And we really work on, so we have a business development team here in-house that works on relationships. And part of the team works on bigger relationships. And that scenario I was just giving you guys was from that business development team that works with big franchisors. And the franchisor had called in for their franchisee. So that's exactly true, Kevin. We'll see opportunities from one location, and then they might spread it to 10 or 12 others. We've been very successful at that.
That's what I was mentioning before the break, James, is that's the one thing I noticed you guys do very, very well is you're not just treating a business as just like another number. You really do dig in and understand the whole picture, and that's a huge deal out there in the day and age where things are just flying through and everybody's just trying to get numbers and volume. It's in a day and age of that, it's nice to see that you guys take really careful care of each and every person that comes through that door to make sure that they get the best opportunity and the best experience. And I think that's awesome. We only have about another minute or two, but I wanted to find out from you, and you're a relatively young entrepreneur, but very, very successful in such a short period of time. We have a lot of entrepreneurs and, business owners and CEOs and board members that listen to our show. If you could offer any, one piece of advice or suggestion out there to other entrepreneurs coming up and growing their companies, what would it be that you've learned over the years that has helped you really get you where you're at right now?
If I can give one bit, if I could only give one bit of advice, I would personally say hire tough. That's something that I learned a few years ago, not in the very beginning, unfortunately, but just hire tough. You're bringing somebody else in. You're going to pay that person. You're going to spend your time training that person, and time is, as we all know, is very precious. And that person's going to represent your company, your firm. And if they're not doing it the way that you would do it, or at least 80% of how you would do it, you're not going to be successful. You're not going to be able to survive. We have an unbelievable office here with a staff of very close to 70 employees, and I truly do consider them like my family. Some of them have been with me for over 6 years. I've watched people have kids and move into their homes, buy first homes, and have second kids, and it's really been a great experience. And our employees are really truly our biggest asset at the company.
Awesome, man. That's great.
Fantastic. That's great, James.
Yep. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around, James. I want to come back. I want to ask you any mentors real quick, books that you recommend, and then you'll give a chance. We'll give you a chance to tell people where they can find out more about you. In fact, let's do that. We'll go to break here in just a moment, and I wanted to say, go check them out, too. I'll give their information out right now, but we'll do that when we come back from break as well. Go check them out at National Business Credit. Actually, there you go, nationalbusinesscapital.com. James Webster over there is doing a great job here, and just appreciate all the insight that you're giving. So we're going to do that. We'll come back. I want James to think about a book that he would recommend, a mentor he's had, and then he'll give his information out. And it's just been such a pleasure to have them on. Also, go to Facebook again, like us, Twitter, and follow us both at Big Pitch Radio if you haven't done that already. Again, we give a lot of tips, ideas, strategies, concepts, methodologies out there that'll help you advance your business cause. And we'd love to do that. No charge for that stuff, as you know. And so we appreciate you spending part of your day here with us. Go to bigpitchradio.com. Check out some of our past shows. All of our future shows are obviously going to be fantastic, just like the one we're having right now with James Webster at National Business Capital. Stick around. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I promise it's going to be a great rest of your show. Welcome back. You're listening to Big Pitch Radio Show, bigpitchradio.com. We have James Webster on with us from National Business Capital. Kevin, I know you had a couple questions.
Well, James, I want to try to get into your entrepreneurial mind a little bit here today. So do you have any books that you love or any mentors over the years that you've looked up to?
Sure. I've read this book a few times, actually. It's called The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber. It's a business book, and it really talks about processes a lot, and one that I've enjoyed. And processes here at National Business Capital are very important to us. We feel that's one of our claims to success is we really spend a lot of time on process and how can we build it, make it better, stronger, faster. And that book really hit home with me with the processes and making sure that those are in line and spending the time on it. And I definitely owe a lot to that book for the processes and some of the success for the company.
So, that's fantastic, especially in your business of providing capital. You need processes, but you also look for companies that have processes also, because you don't want that hit or miss, very run from the hips kind of company that may be here today, gone tomorrow. You want to see some track record, and you guys actually do look at bank statements and all that kind of thing before you're lending money, correct?
Absolutely, and the book also, and that's a great point, Kevin, and it makes sense because a lot of business owners are a great technician, but it takes three parts to a business owner to make them a successful and a great business owner, which is that technician. You need to know the trade of what you are doing. So somebody that makes pizzas wants to open a pizzeria. They need to know how to make those pizzas. The next is a manager. You have to be a manager. You have to be able to manage your people and yourself. That's probably one of the biggest things that a lot of business owners fail at, is being able to manage themselves. And the third is entrepreneur, being able to identify an opportunity, having the ability to take a risk, and seeing opportunities. It doesn't come as easy to some as it does to others, and that's really what I feel is the difference between an entrepreneur.
Yeah, James, I'm a big Michael Gerber fan. In fact, he was going to be, we almost closed a deal on my last national show. He's going to be my co-host, and one of the phrases he uses so well that I like is that most entrepreneurs are technicians suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure. And I thought that was a great way of putting it. And love E-Myth Revisited. And so that's a great book out there. You guys check that out. It's all about systems. And James and I were just talking about that yesterday. This deal that we're doing is we're talking about just something as simple as a CRM system, right? We're all over it. And like James said, you got to have it if you want to be competitive out there. So good stuff. James, tell people where they can find out more about National Business Capital.
Yep, absolutely. So you can find out about National Business Capital at nationalbusinesscapital.com, or you can call us directly at 844-NBC-LOAN.
Awesome. And, Kevin and I work with James. Kevin, I know, Kevin, you're excited to work with James, and they're a class act group, aren't they?
Well, they deal with entrepreneurs that are growing their business, and these aren't just guys. with startup ideas and visions and ideas in their mind, or a gleam in their eye, so to speak. These are people that have executed. They put their money where their mouth is, built their company, because you need a little bit of cash flow before James is probably going to jump in. They're not funding pie in the sky businesses. They're funding companies that are already up and running. And I think that's middle America. That's what America needs. And this is how companies build their business. They need capital to be able to expand, open more locations, to get more inventory. So James Company and National Business Capital is there for the entrepreneur that needs that help. It's an amazing service, and I'm glad that we had a chance to get into James' head today and find out, what he's looking for.
Yep, absolutely, man. James, it's been a pleasure having you on the show today here at Big Pitch Radio. We hope you enjoyed your time, and I know I'm going to be inviting you back, so I hope you enjoyed it, man.
I appreciate that, Jason, and Kevin, Brian. I appreciate the time today, guys. If I can leave you guys with one quote that I heard this week that I love so much, and I just want all business owners, everyone hearing this today to listen to this. If you don't have time to do it right, how are you going to do it again?
Wow.
It's just something that I heard.
That's good. I've never heard that one.
Hit home.
Yeah.
And we're always running around. We're always busy with the business and home life. And if you cut that corner, or you take those shortcuts, and you wind up having to redo it, now you just spent double the amount of time. So just
absolutely,
that I wanted to share.
That's very well. Thank you for coming on and sharing a lot of your insights today. I know a lot of people gleaned a lot from it, and it's just awesome to be working with you, man, and appreciate you coming on the show. And check them out, patron them. I tell you, they're going to do a great job for you. You need capital, check them out. Thanks a lot, James, and I'll talk to you. I'll actually talk to James in a little while here. So doing business every day, building the dreams together. So thanks a lot, James, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Bye-bye, James.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks,
Have a great day.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Bye-bye now.